There's so much confusion in the news right now about the housing market and the recent lowering of mortgage interest rates. Is the economic hardship that many have felt with the rise in inflation over? In this video, we're going to talk about how some of the world's most powerful hitters believe that we're about to see a major economic recession. And we're going to discuss the importance of why you should be mindful not to accumulate much consumer debt in this uncertain economic times as we go through the holiday season. With the holiday season in full swing, we can now see that mortgage interest rates have dropped, according to bankrate.com, to what some say the most drastic plunge in one time of mortgage rates in about 30 to 40 years, from the peak of about 7.24% to 6.8%. And some lenders are advertising rates even less than that. But let's not forget that our Fed, Jay Powell, has yet to announce that the Fed has dropped central bank's rate. So consumer loans are still very costly, and especially those credit cards that I've personally seen statements that have reported 29.99% interest rates. And before we dive in too far, it's important to note that it's not uncommon that we see mortgage rates fluctuate from time to time a half a point or so in either direction. So the real question is, have we seen the peak in mortgage rates, especially since we've seen the recent CPI reports where it showed that inflation has slowed down? However, by the way, guys, despite the reporting, I'm not really seeing a reduction in the cost of life's necessities, especially food, gas, and utilities. Now, will we see the Fed drop interest rates when they had their December meeting? And will we continue to see major reductions in the 30-year mortgage rate? Or will they climb back over 7% in a few short weeks? So I think when we're trying to, get an idea of where things are headed in the future, it's important that we look back at, what history says about the 30-year mortgage rate. So looking at this Fed chart, despite seeing the decline to 6.61% on November 17th, mortgage rates are still at a 20-year high. And let's not forget that they are more than double from where they were just 1 year ago. And I think it's fair to say that the Fed realizes for most Americans, a major housing correction is necessary to get these buyers off the sidelines and to improve the 9-month decline of home sales across the nation. More importantly, I think it's fair to say that the Fed is not really concerned about the home sellers and the prices that they want to get for their homes. I really think their responsibility is to work on the overall inflation to get America's prices down on our food, our gasoline, and our utilities. And these guys are just a few of life's necessities. So is the recent reduction in mortgage rates, in your opinion, enough to stimulate home sales since the prices in most markets haven't gone down very much? Honestly, for me, instead of looking at mainstream media or what a loan officer or real estate agent may say about their predictions in the market, I like to turn to the people, these major heavy hitters that I talked about, that grab so much data and AI from us consumers and our behaviors. I like to hear what they have to say about their predictions with the U.S. economy. So that brings us to this article that I found on the internet dated November 20th. It's from markets.businessinsiders.com. I've dropped that link below. They published this article titled, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Ken Griffin are sounding the alarm on a U.S. recession. Here are 12 dire economic warnings from elite commentators. Now, I'm sure in that title, you recognize at least two of the names here. And certainly Jeff Bezos, we all know because of his company that he founded called Amazon. And we also know that Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. So let's see what these elitists have to say. Jeff Bezos says the economy does not look great right now. Things are slowing down. You're seeing layoffs in many, many sectors. The probabilities say that if we're not in a recession right now, we're likely to be in one very soon. Take as much risk off the table as you can. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Now, guys, it's also all over the news that Jeff Bezos' company, Amazon, is about to lay off approximately 10,000 employees. And we also know here locally in Maryland, they've closed recently 2 major distribution centers. And guys, this is coming just before the holidays when, for retailers, it's said to be their biggest time of the year. And let's think about it. Amazon's AI must be so amazingly powerful, right? They know everything about consumers, not just here in the US, but worldwide. With all the AI in our house, Alexa, smart devices. I mean, guys, their AI is listening to conversations. They know what's going on before anyone else. So I think they would be a pretty good source to predict any trends going forward, at least during the short term. All right, now let's turn our focus to the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, and see what he has to say. There's going to be probably a year or two of serious recession. Frankly, the economic picture ahead is dire, especially for a company like ours that is so dependent on advertising in a challenging economic climate. Now, I agree, hey, look, should everybody have $100,000 electric cars? I mean, that's a good question. But again, I think a CEO and the richest man in the world, he's pretty advised, right? He's getting data. He understands what's going on, and he's made some layoffs himself. And something else Elon's put in the news is he's about to maybe lay off half of Twitter's 7,500 employees. And this article doesn't even mention Mark Zuckerberg and how he's about to collapse or lay off massive amounts of people in the failing Meta, where he's expecting that we're going to live in a world of complete unreality. Now let's see what Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's business partner and vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, has to say. Munger says, I think the Fed is willing to have a little recession in order to not have out of control inflation. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be the one guy at the party that doesn't hang around the punch bowl getting drunk. Well, thanks so much for that, Mr. Munger. And finally, guys, let's hear what Harvard's economist Ken Rogoff has to say. You really have to look at the world, which is in bad shape. It's very hard for the United States to resist that. I worry that not only are we going to get a mild recession, I think the chances that we get a significant recession are pretty high. Now, guys, like I said, I've dropped the link to this article below if you'd like to check it out and hear what more of the elitists had to say about their prediction going into 2023 and the chances for a major U.S. recession. And let us know in the comments what you think about what these people had to say in the article. I wish you well, guys, and the purpose of this video was just to give you a word of caution to be mindful not to accumulate a lot of unnecessary debt, especially as you're enjoying the holidays with family and friends. Remember, guys, it's not the price of the gift, it's the thought that counts. Wishing you and yours the best holiday season. God bless you guys. And if you like this video, you can hit the thumbs up and let me know that you did. And I always appreciate when you subscribe to Sachs Realty's channel. Hit that alert bell. You'll know every time we publish content. See you next time.
Sachs Realty, Maryland broker number 607720, office number 443-318-4514, equal housing opportunity.